I'm glad that it's basically like the DS Lite. It's nice and shiny, it's compact and bijou. It's just nice and it's not like the first DS that came out. It was a brick. Hello, Mr. Brick. When this thing came out in whatever year it was. What year was it? I have no idea. Was it 2005 or was it before then? No idea. It's awesome, but wow, is it ugly. I know some people probably out there think it's awesome, but wow. This thing compared to this, yeah. Anyway, but no, the 3DS looks really great. So the first day I didn't actually get to check it out. I just saw it in the behind the counter kind of thing. And the next day at E3 I lined up and checked it out. And yeah, it's solid. The screen is pretty amazing. The 3D screen on top. It's pretty incredible. Just being able to slide that thing back and forth and see and judge depth on that little screen. Pretty amazing. Something that was pretty certainly impacted me was I was checking out the Kid Icarus demo. It was like a movie of the game but real time. That makes sense. So you watch that and I was watching it in 3D. Had the slider turned up and it looked great. You could judge depth and something that I found which is really interesting is, for me I was like, well, the 3D isn't going to have much of a gameplay application really, because obviously you can't really move your head that far around, because then you start to lose some of the 3D effects. So you can't really use it for gameplay reasons such as, oh, I've picked up this item, and if I turn over here I can see this side of it, and oh, there's a clue over there. I don't know if we're going to use it for that much, maybe, but very subtle if anything. So I was like, well, what kind of gameplay application is really the 3D going to have? And something I hadn't really thought of, which is silly really when you think of it, but something that hit me when I was watching the game is, well, with a 3D third-person action platform game, you can judge depth. So now the jumps in front of you, or the enemies that you're trying to attack, or whatever, the pickup you're trying to collect, now you can actually judge where it is. So, with Mario 64, for example, which is, a great example of a 3D third-person platform game, you can't judge depth, even though it's 3D. As far as the jump distance and where something is, you have to use other cues, such as the drop shadow that's directly beneath the spinning coin, for example. You just have to use memory to learn that, oh, I can I can jump that gap. I tried it last time and I could get across, sweet. But that one looks a little bit further. Can I make that one? I'm not sure. It's just memory, trial and error. For the most part, and as many visual cues as you can add to the game to try and communicate to the player where something is in 3D space. But you're not judging it, of course, truly. You're using other cues to figure that out. So with 3D, now you can judge it. That's pretty amazing. So now you can actually say, hey, I know how far away that is from me. I can actually judge that, like you can in life. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, so that wasn't even the profound thing that impacted me. But that's a great gameplay application, so now you can actually judge depth. Sweet! So now when you see an enemy and you have your sword, and your sword slashes that far, you'll be able to actually judge. Your brain will be able to yes, I can hit that thing. Rather than, I think I can hit that thing, and yes, I can. Great. It's pretty cool. Anyway, the thing that impacted me was when I turned the slider off, or down, to turn the 3D effect off. Obviously the game is still 3D in the sense that it's made out of 3D objects, but now the 3D, we're gonna have to find a new term for 3D because there's two types of 3D now, but that are both being used in the same game. So that's kind of weird. But anyway, the real 3D was turned off, but obviously the game's still being displayed in 3D polygons. And what I found really interesting was the sense of loss that I had at that moment, where you turn off the 3D effect, and now it's flat. It was weird. It was just like, I don't know, this sounds ridiculous, but it was an extra dimension being taken away, because it literally was. One moment I could judge, oh, here's my hand, I can judge how far away from each other, and then now suddenly, now I can't. Even though they're the same distance apart, now I can't judge which is in front and which one's behind anymore. And that was what happened with the Kid Icarus demo. When I turned it off, I would, the little character was here, and he's kind of in this little kind of courtyard kind of area. Had this little fountain up there, and some guys coming around or whatever, and I could judge everything. And it looked really cool. And suddenly, I turned it off, and it was like, yeah, it still looks cool. It looks like any normal game, but now that sense of judging the environment had gone, and my brain was like, it was weird. You feel that sense of loss, like, oh, I want to go back there and experience that, so I can actually judge the environment. So my brain can calculate and judge this environment. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Anyway, 3DS, awesome, really fun. I've probably used up a whole second video now as well, just waffling about that. What I really wanted to talk about was just, it was a great unit. The buttons, felt decent. The analog, I guess they're going to call it, what is it, the thumb pad maybe or something? Control pad, I don't know, whatever. It was real nice. The little analog stick was really nice. It was, concave, what do you call it? You had a little groove, your thumb would sit in nicely, and you'd slide it around. It felt great, it felt really nice. I think Nintendo are just genius on just the creation of it, because they give you enough new stuff to kind of get excited about, even if you took the 3D factor out of it, which is really just a really neat gimmick, to be honest. It has enough new stuff on there for us as developers to get excited about, and hopefully for the players to get excited about as well, where you have an analog stick, finally, right? But then beyond that, all it has new, obviously the motion sensing, which I didn't get to experience at the show because I'm not sure if they had anything that used that, but the motion sensing should be the gyro or whatever it's called, will have a nice application. And then obviously the advanced graphic capabilities over the DS. It's essentially a GameCube in your hand. Which is great, being able to throw that much more power around. The DS is maybe a tenth of what the GameCube can handle as far as polygons and textures and all the rest of it, and CPU power that you can do. And I don't know if the Wii the 3DS has that power literal to the GameCube. I don't know. I'm sure it has some things that are better than GameCube, some things that are less. It's always a mixture of that, because that's what's so clever about Nintendo is they make the unit so it's affordable for them to manufacture, so they can make it at a profit basically and sell it at a decent price. So hopefully, I would be surprised if it was more than $250 when it first came out. I would imagine $199 would be a magic price point if they could release it at that. But $249, I wouldn't be surprised if it came out at that, because they do have some pretty fancy tech going on there. And then if it comes out probably in March or whatever, over here next year, I would think by Christmas it may even come down to $199, or even maybe just the following spring or summer it'll come down to $199, or $189 or some crazy number like that. So it'll be definitely around the $200 mark, whether it's $50 more, $50 less eventually after some time. I think they'll dance around that number, because it's just a good price point. It works. Look at the PSP Go. It's still at $250. Really? I mean, come on. I want to buy the PSP Go, but I'm not going to buy it for $250, especially that I can't even use my other PSP games on it, or even transfer them onto there. Or maybe you can if you're a hacker, but the normal person can't just go out there and move the games onto it, from what I understand anyway. And if it was $150 or $189, maybe I'd buy the PSP Go, but $250? Come on, that's ridiculous. So anyway, Nintendo are very smart, where they make their hardware affordable. They don't put the bells and whistles on it, the most cutting edge whatever of everything on there. They give you just enough. There's one analog stick. Aside from that, it has the same DS controls, L and R, the 4 face buttons, start, select, etc. And the control pad, of course. And then they've added, obviously some new graphic chips, but it's still kind of old technology, really. It's just GameCube, Wii kind of style. It's not, cutting edge, next gen, 360, PS3, or whatever. Obviously the screen, it's very fancy on top, but it's only just the top one. They didn't put 2 3D screens on there. Obviously that has other ramifications for not doing that, but cost-wise it helps to not do that as well. So it's very clever. They've done it very clever whether they can actually afford to manufacture it and hopefully sell it at a decent price and also make a profit for them, which is smart. So exciting stuff. Anyway, I'm going to get back to work now. We're finishing up Spirit. Smoke is rolling along very nicely, and Face is good stuff too. So alright guys, I hope you're doing well. I'll catch up with you guys later. Alright, bye.